I know that I said after my stream that I was not going to post anything or do anything of that sorts afterwards, but I've decided to bend the rules a little bit, and I want to post one final video just in case people missed out on the stream and kind of want either a TLDR or just a video where I kind of have like some sort of closure video, if you will. So for those that are unaware, I have, as of this recording, I have officially graduated as a VTuber, completely. There is no more streams from me, there's no more posts on the Twitters, and the Blue Sky has been effectively deleted. I say effectively deleted, but I just changed it over to my personal Blue Sky account. So it's still there. I'll get into more on that here in a second. This video is probably going to be a little bit longer, and it'll probably be quite a sit down to watch kind of video because I feel like rambling a little bit more after all that is said and done. I felt like I really have a few more things to get off my chest. I probably have already mentioned, you probably have already heard it, but might as well. Let's get into some topics. Let's get into some talking, shall we? The first thing that I want to mainly touch on is between the announcement video back in October and to this video right now, there was one live stream, and that was slightly an accident because I was thinking about streaming more once I made the announcement, but instead it ended up being the opposite. I think it was partially because once I made the announcement, I was kind of already like, yeah, I'm done. I'm already done. I kind of was done with streaming. I've been done with streaming, and it's just been one of those things where it's like I've had no reason to continue streaming ever since I started doing editing videos elsewhere. Started doing everything else that I was doing before becoming a VTuber, but doing it again this time with a little bit more knowledge. I could pretty much come out and say whatever I've been wanting to say for the last couple of years, because I mean, it's the last time you're ever going to hear from me unless you know how to follow the real me elsewhere. I mean, I've kind of promoted it elsewhere, but outside of that, you know, you got to make an effort. You got to do it yourself if you want to continue to follow my journey, but I'm not forcing you to. That's the thing too. So I'm going to say a few things, get a couple extra things off my chest, and kind of just make this video all about me and my actual personal feelings on a couple things, couple topics and stuff like that. I'm gonna try not to repeat myself as much as possible between this and the live stream of the graduation, just in case some folks are coming from either that stream or they want to watch that stream later. But I might accidentally do a little bit of repeating myself here or there. Apologize in advance. So let's go with this topic here, which is, do I regret VTubing? Well, that is kind of a hard answer for me to say because on the one hand, I want to say no. I enjoyed my time as a VTuber on some levels. I enjoyed some of the connections that I made along the way between my first stint as a VTuber in an agency and all the way up to my days as an independent VTuber a couple years ago. I enjoy it to an extent. There's some things that I regret, some things that I hate looking back on, but that's kind of not the biggest reason why I would say yes that I regret being a VTuber. The real reason I regret being a VTuber is because between the days of announcing my graduation and doing everything else up to this point outside of VTubing, I realized that I have been missing out on so much of my life. And VTubing took away a lot of that because I was focusing on that more than my life. Which is stupid to say in hindsight because of everything that's transpired between not having any support, not having any sort of success, and in general my feeling that this has not been worth any of my effort or time whatsoever. I've mentioned that I've been extremely frustrated with my lack of success, and that is a huge contributing reason as to why. I know that I wasn't going to be, it wasn't going to be easy. I knew that from the get-go, all the way back in 2021 when I first started. But I also was like, yeah, but from what I've been doing and the stuff that I've been able to accomplish outside of VTubing these past couple of months, I can safely say that I could have been doing that for the last 3 to 4 years, and I probably would be way better off compared to what I actually did, which was try to be a VTuber for all those years. I've tried many different forms of streams. I've tried many different videos and stream ideas and series and stuff like that over the past couple of years, and it has felt like none of them have really done anything in terms of getting me to where I want to be as a VTuber. All of the series that revolved around me doing sports commentaries, I enjoyed a lot, and I think it would have worked the best as a VTuber, but I also think that with the amount of effort that I put into those series and the amount of time and energy and passion that I had for those series, I had a little bit of high expectations, and they all fell well short of it. There's no beating around the bush there. Like, I tried to make this kind of be like the thing that I wanted to do, and, you know, because I put all that time, energy, and passion and effort into all these commentary series, like the VTuber racing, the football, and the wrestling stuff, I thought that I was going to see a lot more success than what I actually did, and that kind of hurts. Not gonna lie, but I don't regret doing it. I just kind of wish that I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it, because it kind of hurt me at the end of it all, right? So another thing that made me realize what I realize now with wasting my time as a VTuber is that between the months of basically October, when I made that announcement video of my graduation, all the way till now, is that I've been doing so much more reading, so much more watching, and so much more figuring out in my life, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Now, I've known for the last couple of years, and I've made it well known on this channel in particular, that I was trying to study up on my Japanese so I could move to Japan and try to start a whole new life over there, essentially, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But between 2021, when I debuted, all the way till, like I said, last October, I've done very little to none of it, because I've been focusing so much on streaming and trying to make that work and try to be like, hey, this is what, you know, instead of studying Japanese or watching anime or reading manga, especially for like a just chatting stream or whatever, I was trying to focus on playing a game or, you know, do whatever else, maybe think of this and that for streaming. And ever since I became an independent VTuber, it's all just kind of been going downhill ever since, because I was starting to just get extremely burnt out. And that's another thing too that I want to mention, is the burnout was real, and I never actually got away from it. I kept trying to tell myself that, oh, I'm done being burnt out, I'm done being, you know, tired of streaming, but it never really went away. It never did. And it only got amplified by the fact that it's like my thoughts of missing out on my life for the last couple years really amplified the burnout just staying the way that it is. And here's the thing, it's not that it's like a full-blown burnout for creating content or being creative, I guess I'll say. I'm burnt out of being a VTuber. right? Because between October till now, on the other side of things, I have been extremely creative. I have created videos that I didn't think I was going to create. And I still have a lot more to go, and I still have a lot more of a direction that I want to take that other side of things later down the line, later this year in fact. I'm only posting what I'm posting right now over there because it's the backlog that I had. It's a huge ass backlog because of the last couple years of recording personal stuff, never having a chance to really upload it because I was thinking, I'll save it for the day that I stop being a VTuber. Guess what day it is? It's that time. And you know, I've been getting, even if the numbers aren't necessarily what I was hoping for, they're still better than what they would be if I uploaded those videos to here. I also mentioned about how I wanted to further my direction in life and how I wanted to, you know, make a move to Japan happen to restart my life, I guess, as young as I am. That's going decently well. I've been having a lot of struggles with that though, but only because I don't know how to do a lot of the things that I'm supposed to do when moving. I've never moved before in my life. I've stayed in the same spot for over 20 years of my life, and I've never moved anywhere, and especially across the world. So I stress out a little bit about that. This year is going to be a stressful year for me for all the different reasons compared to the last few years. The last few years have just been a directionless, hollowed shell of my former self, essentially. And now this year is where I've decided to take the wheel and turn into a different direction, one that I could control more of myself, essentially. So I just felt like no matter what I was going to do, eventually I was going to stop being a VTuber. I wanted to have more of a live streaming presence and do the videos and stuff like that separately, and keep juggling the two things together, but with everything that's been going on, I just don't think live streaming in general is the future that I want to have, especially once I move away and I'm like having to focus more on figuring out if I could survive another day without having to worry about having to go live again or something like that. So if I do live stream, it's going to be over on the other side of things, and I just prefer to just shut all this VTuber stuff down as well. Now that is the massive personal side of the reason why I want to graduate and why this is the last thing you'll ever hear from as the King of Swing. But it's not just all of that, because that was, I would say, a good 80% of why. I felt like I've missed out on life. I've missed out on reading and watching peak anime, and I've missed out on growth opportunities personally, but that's only like 80% of the issues that I have with being a VTuber. I would say another part of it, I wouldn't say the other 20, but I would say a good 10 to 15% is the fact that I have not been a huge fan of the VTuber community, industry, whatever you want to say. I have not been a huge fan of the last couple months of VTubers in general, between everything that's going on, between the weekly, if not every other daily shit shows that take place, the controversies, the drama, the bullshit. Like, I stepped away from all that when I made my announcements. I stopped using Twitter. I stopped using the Blue Sky for the most part, other than posting every once in a while, and I found myself enjoying just figuring out what the fuck I want to do with my own life. I stopped giving a shit about other people, and it for once in my life, and I haven't felt any regret about that. I don't regret it whatsoever. I actually kind of enjoyed it. The thing that disappoints me the most about being a VTuber is that between not having the numbers, not having the support, and not not really wanting to continue already as is, all that stuff that I mentioned before, compile that with the industry itself, the VTuber industry, just kind of taking a big ol' shit on each other, and it's like, it's just drama, controversy. I hate being a VTuber, and I hate for people to become VTubers, because they are going to be dealing with all this and more as time moves on. So ain't that fun? For the future of VTubing is totally a bright future, isn't it? But like I said, that's really about all from there. It's a small reason, but it's another reason where it's like, dude, if I want to live stream, I'll just live stream on the other side of things. If I want to create videos, I'll create videos on the other side of things. I'm not gonna fucking I don't want to do anything anymore. I don't want to do anything. I want to be creative, but I want to be creative personally and not a VTuber anymore. So I'm changing up the direction of my life. I'm changing the direction of everything myself, and in order for me to do that, I gotta make sacrifices, and this is a sacrifice that's a bit unfortunate for those that have been following me for the last couple of years, but hey, I'm leaving the door open for those that want to continue to follow me. Kind of starts with looking into the description, wink wink, I can't wink, but it starts there. But it's an open invitation. You don't have to follow, you don't, you know. If you enjoy me because I'm a VTuber, that's great. But if you want to enjoy me because I'm not a VTuber anymore, then yeah, continue on to the description below, and you'll find the blue sky, the updated blue sky link, where everything else will be linked there as well, because I'm not going to really use Twitter anymore, and even if I do, it'll just be on a private account. So the main social is going to be on Blue Sky, and I guess Discord too, but I don't really think I want to give away that Discord because it's a personal Discord. So yeah, I like to keep my close contacts on Discord and not just anybody. So there's that. But you know, we'll see where that future takes place at. But before I sign off for the final time, I do want to end this on a more positive note, shockingly, and actually give some thanks to not only the people watching this, but to everybody that may not be watching this. I don't, if that makes any sense. Just a little bit of love and appreciation towards everybody that I may have collabed with in the past, and I hope that I can stay connected with them in the future, all things considered. Because yeah, between me being a VTuber for the last, I'd say 4+ years, if that, probably a little less than that actually, there's been a lot of comers and goers when it comes to the people that I've worked with and friends that I've made along the way, and I'm grateful for every single one of them, with the exception of maybe like 2 that could go to hell, but that's that. Yeah, there's a lot more people that I'm gonna miss, because you know, it's been at least a few months, if not a couple years, since I've last spoken to some of the people that I collabed with or talked to and stuff like that, and you know, I'm gonna miss them. I am, but you know, I've had troubles in the past with staying connected with people. I haven't been the most socially active person, and that's kind of been a huge factor of my downfall as a VTuber. I tried a little bit to stay socially connected, but I've never been that good at it. I've never been good at it, and trying to only get better at it would have caused me to probably burn out a little quicker, maybe. I don't know. I felt like I would have been doing too much for very little results. That's how I feel, at least. But to everybody that's watching, I can't thank you guys enough, right? I can't thank you guys enough for the love and the appreciation over the last couple of years. And you know, if this was the end of the road for me completely, it would be a little bit more emotional. but it's only the end of the road for this, okay? I'm still gonna make videos. I'm still gonna make music, especially under this name. It's the only not downside, but it's the only thing that I'll stick with doing, because I've mentioned it on the stream, but I'll mention it here. The artist name I cannot change on Spotify and elsewhere, so I'll just make that my personal artist page. So, you know, there you go. If you follow my music, you'll still have my future endeavors under music making. I don't plan on changing artist. I don't plan on making a whole new one, because I don't find that very useful or beneficial or whatsoever. So I'm going to continue making music under the name Wyatt Natus, and that's really about it. So there's that. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank you all so much for the last couple of years of being a VTuber. Through the ups and downs, I signed off for one final time as the King of Swing, the Parrot of Dance, and most importantly, as Wyatt Natus. Tipping my hat, although I don't have the physical ways of doing it because my arms aren't rigged, but I'm tipping my hat to all y'all one last time. I thank y'all so much for watching. See you in the future, possibly.